talked about the campus a little bit. What will the physical campus look like? Charles, tell us what your feelings are. What's going to happen over the next
well, if I
period of
have
time?
to take the next 10 years, or the last 10 years to determine what's going to happen, I get worried. We've seen a lot of growth on campus, and I think we'll continue to see growth, but I think it'll be measured growth in that it will serve specific purposes. We know that we're going to see, well, we're working on, it hasn't been approved, but we're working on the agri-science design. And that's an exciting concept. And as that comes about, we have opportunities to rethink existing structures to make them more effective and more useful to the campus and to the academics and to learning. And so I see a lot of rethinking of existing structures. I see a few new structures, but not a lot. And again, thinking about what's a lot, we've done quite a bit. And I think of what President Hinckley said when we were announced to go to 4 years, that it would be modest in growth. And so if that's been modest, I hope we continue to be modest in our growth.
You know, that's an interesting thought. When President Eyring was here to dedicate the BYU-Idaho Center, he said something very interesting in his talk. I don't know if you remember this. He said that statement by President Hinckley will prove true because it's relative to what is accomplished in the buildings. And even though this building, the BYU-Idaho Center, is a truly large building and a marvelous building, it will appear, relative to what is accomplished, modest. And I believe that will be true for the entire campus. I think one of the things we're starting to see, and this is where your repurposing comment comes from, is that the Lord's teaching us how to take the resources we already have and make better and better, more effective use of them. It's really in the old pioneer tradition. What's that phrase?
Use it up, wear it out,
yeah,
or do without.
Yeah, that's the phrase. Yeah, it's use it up, wear it out.
Make do
or do without.
Yeah. And that's us. That's BYU-Idaho. It's been that way for decades. And I think we're learning that, for example, in our classroom building, we have tremendous classroom buildings, and we're learning that we can actually magnify them. Multiply them by doing things like extending the hours, by doing things like hybrid, where a class would meet once or twice a week instead of 3 times, and you can use the other space in between. There are lots of ways to magnify the capacity that we've got and serve many more students, basically within the existing footprint of the university.
Yeah, I think we'll want to continue to keep the campus intimate and close. We want it to be a walking campus. So parking will continue to move to the periphery and not be as the main focus in the middle of campus. And parking is always an issue, but it seems to be less and less as students live within close proximity to the campus. And again, we'll try to make it as friendly as possible. And it's just fun to watch it metamorphose.
Oh, I want to share something that I hear often from people about the campus that I think speaks to this intimacy. There are no buildings on this campus that are going to show up in an architectural magazine.
Nope.
I don't think so. They're very modest in their design, very functional. But I have heard so many comments from people who are not familiar with the university as they walk on the campus. They say how beautiful the campus is, and how pleasing and enjoyable it is to be on our campus. And I think it's the ensemble that makes the difference. It's the way everything fits together, and it's the idea of the Holy Ghost ministering here that brings a spirit to the campus that makes it feel really good to be here. And that's the spirit we want to maintain, even as we grow.
Well, and that beauty comes through simplicity.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I think there's one other thing I was going to mention too, President, that the wise use of technology. We've started some of our discussions, and so we have the facilities and so on, but the wise use of technology both here on campus and in relationship to pathways and online learning. So I think a combination of things that we'll learn about and be able to even increase and improve upon our use of some of our facilities.
Absolutely. Henry?
I think part of the beauty of the campus
is that it's populated, that the students are here at times you wouldn't expect. I had the opportunity to entertain my brother Stuart and his family this weekend. And on a Saturday, of course, they were impressed to see the BYU-Idaho Center and the wonderful auditorium. But as they reflected on what they'd seen, they marveled most at how active the campus was on a Saturday. So we walked over to the Hart Building and saw a dance competition. We went into the Barris Concert Hall thinking only to see the Rafati organ, and found that there were performances occurring, students performing there. There was even an ambulance that came to the football field where there was a game of ultimate frisbee going on. I don't know how that turned out, but the beauty of the campus is that it's alive. It's not only well designed, but it's well used.
One more thought. I really am touched by each of the employees' feeling of stewardship. That as we move forward, they don't look at what do we need more of. It's how do we use what we have to its fullest. And that's just impressive to see how they do that, and it opens the door for revelation and inspiration to come up with ideas of how to do more with less.
Yeah, it's powerful.